we haven't had an affordable housing developer on yet. I've been looking for one, but you know, when it comes to development, we were talking about how niche this is, but actually it's not, right? Because there's,
Oh,
you know,
it's a booming industry specifically in California.
agreed. But like even just housing and development in general and construction, we could go in so many verticals. So like, I've had a few options to invite a hotel developer or, a student housing developer or senior housing. So there's a workforce. I mean, there's multiple ways to go about this and get very granular here. But let me ask you about affordable. So, obviously top down, it's you're trying to build housing, right, at affordable cost. That's just the way it is, but it's so much more complicated in that there's a lot of variables, right? In obviously what we do, which is just the entire land use part of it and entitlement, which could, take a long time. It's not consistent in every city, in every property even, right? Like everything is so different there. That's just the first part. And then there's the variables of cost, which is the labor and then the materials. And then I guess, beyond that, there's some other stuff. So can you talk to that? Like, so,
Sure.
um, and I know this is kind of off topic, but when you said
No,
affordable,
it's all on topic.
awesome, awesome. So, you know, from what I know, you have to get a subsidy in bonds, but that shifts with California and federal every year, right? They put a focus on sometimes workforce and then veteran and then homeless. And so this thing shifts on how much of capital is available for use, right? And approvals. And then based on that shifting kind of product, the subsidy, you go and build that. But is there any insights you could share on still the running challenges for affordable housing?
Sure. So affordable primarily means it does not mean affordable to build. Unfortunately, because of these
Agreed.
subsidies, they usually come with encumbrances such as prevailing wage
Mm,
and other sustainability checkpoints and
I
other things
see.
that can increase your project cost. What it
Right.
means is that there's a deed restriction on who can rent the units. They have
I
to be
see. I
under a
get it.
certain income
Mm,
level to be
right.
able to rent the units.
Right.
So traditionally it has been with subsidies,
Mm,
but since I'm in such an innovative construction space,
mm,
I'm
mm.
also seeing a lot of innovative financial models, and I'm
Oh,
seeing a real trend towards still housing vulnerable populations and
yes.
still voluntarily doing deed restrictions,
Right.
to get density bonuses or for other
Ah,
reasons,
I get
but
it.
funding it privately with private capital, and therefore
That's
it
great.
brings your project costs down. You can do a different model. You can master lease it to a social service provider so you have
Right.
guaranteed income.
Right.
So there's all sorts of really cool creative things going on
That's
in
great.
the space,
Mm,
as well as, there's wonderful, as you know, density bonuses around affordability,
mm,
that it can give you kind of unlimited density to
mhm,
some points and
mhm.
greatly reduce your parking.
Yes.
So and all you have to be technically, on affordable is 80% AMI or less.
Right.
And so there are some areas of town where 80% AMI is still a rent that can make your project pencil.
Yes, agreed. And given what's going on in the pandemic, we might already be at 80% AMI in the urban
Exactly.
cores, right now. Okay, great. No, that's super fascinating. I think the private capital is going to be a game changer if it gets more available for a lot of developers. I've even,
Opportunity zones are
yes,
happening.
yes,
Um,
there's a lot of
grant
capital.
money. Yeah.
Yes. And crowdfunding. There's actually a company out of Echo Park. They chose Echo Park out of everywhere else. And it's essentially kind of a B corporation. So all they're meant to do is really empower the residents to reinvest in their community. So they're going to allocate the crowdfunded money, obviously pay, you know, it's you're earning whether it's 8% or I don't exactly know the details on the yield on that, but you're also putting it to a good cause because they're then purchasing vital real estate in that neighborhood and making sure there aren't other interests, which is the founder told me is really institutional led. So that's kind
Absolutely.
of what's the problem with neighborhoods. It's not gentrification and that everyone's just wanted to be the next Silver Lake. Well, there's a need, but then the actual capital to actually remake a neighborhood is institutional. The REITs have so much buying power, right? So amass so much
Absolutely.
capital, and that's what's changing neighborhoods. But anyways, off.
So two things I want to respond to.
Yes,
Number
please.
one, did you know that the first multi-story container development in the city of Los Angeles,
Mm,
made with shipping containers,
mm.
was a crowd-funded building
Oh, I didn't
by
know
a
that.
developer
Oh,
who was
awesome. Brilliant.
selling off shares of the building to
Yes,
people who wanted to
that's
invest in
great.
ending homelessness in LA.
Agreed. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's really cool. And I actually already forgot the second thing.
That's okay. We'll think of that. No, I want to get
Oh,
with,
new market tax credits.
right. There's a lot of levers. It just wasn't readily available for developers. And I think that's really what I wanted to get at. It's affordable, even though it's multifaceted and there's all these variables. There's also solutions that are
Absolutely.
out there. So you just have to start to utilize them. And also if they're more readily available for everyone.